All right.
Hey, check it out. Have your IDs ready. If you plan on staying and drinking tonight, she'll band you up to 21 plus, so you guys don't have to do that later. I'll check the tickets. She'll give me the band.
Yeah, it should be, yeah. Right in the email.
Work for me.
See you first. Come on. Good workshop. Good. Okay. Good. Good. Good.
Thank you. Man, what's going on, Futuristic?
Kato, how you doing?
Good, man. Nice to meet you, bro.
Yes, sir. Whoa, that's a crazy little camera.
Yeah.
Whoa. It's like
on,
the
man.
mini GoPro, John.
Oh, yeah, man. It's
360.
It's a Osmo Pocket, bro.
There we go.
Oh shit.
What's going on, Kato?
You too.
Nice to meet you, man.
Good to meet you again.
Man, yeah, you guys got the setup
Take
crazy.
a seat. You know, grab some snacks, grab some water.
Sheesh. Sheesh, man.
Welcome, welcome.
How's everyone
Dude.
feeling?
Good, man.
I apologize. We had some of y'all waiting outside for a minute, but I wanted to make sure everything was all set up for you guys. Where y'all from?
From Coachella.
Where?
Coachella.
Coachella.
Cali.
About an hour away in Prescott.
Prescott, New York. No, right here in Phoenix.
Nice.
Arizona native as well.
Mobile, Alabama.
I flew Iowa.
Indiana. Travel?
Yeah, I flew in for this. I live here in Phoenix now.
Okay.
I've been here for about
I've been
a
down
year.
here working. What do you do?
I'm an electrician.
Okay.
Yeah. By trade.
Man.
How many artists? Producers? Okay. Engineers?
Yeah.
How about like managers or anyone on that side? All right, no,
I mean-
so all creative. Nice. All right, cool. Well, welcome to Sound Advice. This is kind of a different iteration of Sound Advice. I don't know. Has anyone gone to the previous ones? No, not. Okay, so all new people, perfect. Obviously, we're setting up like for the open mic, the other venue, Atlanta. Flew out just for this event, but I've worked with artists like Snoop Dogg, Jack Harlow, Too Short, E40, whole Mount Westmore group, Tyga, this guy, Futuristic, used to be part of a crew called Funk Volume. That has since disbanded. But you know, I still talk to everyone. It's all about relationships. Yeah, kind of created the Sound Advice tour back in at the end of 2019, which I'll talk about more, kind of my motivation for starting the tour a little bit later. But Futuristic, just...
Yeah, I mean, I've been, I think, probably in all your guys' shoes before. You know, tour. I mean, I was, you know, just a kid in high school. I've been rapping since I was 6 years old. So, you know, making music my entire life and wondering how am I gonna pop? When am I gonna pop? What do I need to do to pop? You know, and after everything kind of took off, it was like I talked with labels. I kind of went through all the processes and kind of weighed everything out and chose to stay independent. And I think that's what probably a lot of you guys want to do, is stay independent and be able to just live off music. I think that's everybody's goal, is to really live off music and to be as big as they can possibly be as an artist, to be able to support your family, support your lives. That was always my goal. So the main thing I want to talk about today with you guys is just the ways that you guys might not be thinking about, how you can monetize what you're already good at, ways that you can, you know, move up the ladder, and ways to network, ways to mingle, things that you can do that will take you from here to here. So
Yeah.
I'll let you get started on, I guess, what the first things.
Yeah, I mean, so my reason for creating the Sound Advice tour is because I realized after talking with so many creatives, like producers, artists, there was like a disconnect, right? And I'm sure you guys feel it in your own careers. Like, there was a disconnect between the creative side of it and the business side of it. And we all understand what the creative side of it entails, right? It's doing what we love. It's what comes naturally to us. But unfortunately, if you're trying to make a living from it, there's a lot more that goes into it. And that's the whole business side, that's the marketing side, it's the networking piece.
And I would say, really, music is probably 10%.
Yeah.
Having the good music is probably 10% of popping off. And I think that's why it's important to know, as a creative, like, you gotta know the business, and you gotta continuously be learning, growing, and expanding on the things that make you you.
Yeah, 100%. So, you know, my goal was really to just bring rooms of creatives together like we are now and talk about it. And it's a lot to break down. You know, it's not something that I can explain in a 60-second Instagram video. You know what I mean? So,
the point of this too is also to be very personalized, like to get to know you guys.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can't just give general advice to everybody and say, this is how you guys are all going to blow up, because everybody does different shit. So we really want to learn what you guys do. We want to learn what things make you, what you're into, and then be able to help you maybe come up with a plan, come up with a strategy to now go out and make more money, go out and climb the ladder, go out and be successful artists, you know. So yeah.
yeah, and the way I kind of look at it, right, it's like, I call it the 3 M's. It's music, mindset, marketing. Really, I would put mindset at the front because I feel like that drives everything else. So as we're like talking about this kind of
And do Twitch. Not all of us can,
Right.
you know, it's about balancing the platform. Not all of us can do every single thing that is going to make you money. You got to find the things you're good at, whether it be features, whether it be if you're an engineer and you're using your engineering to now network with other artists and you can make money off that, or you do graphic design, or you produce, whatever. The thing that I learned real early was, if I want to make this a living, I got to figure out the ways outside of just, back then it was iTunes or selling CDs in the street. I had to figure out the ways that I could make money. So I started throwing showcases and doing all these different things, using my network to be able to build my brand and to be able to monetize all the things that I was good at.
Yeah.
And even though I didn't have a huge fan base, I knew that a lot of my fans, even back in the day, were rappers. And so my mindset was, okay, how can I give the most value to people? How can I put on something that is great for them? And in return, I'll be able to monetize that thing as well. So I think that outside of just making the music, it's the business that's going to get you guys to be able to live off your music and to be able to grow as well, and to network to keep climbing that.
Yeah, and to add on to that, like what I hear a lot from creatives is I lack the motivation, or I have imposter syndrome, right? Like I feel like I shouldn't be here, or I feel like I don't deserve certain things, or you know, like how do you stay consistent? How do you stay positive? Like
and everything starts coming out of my pocket, and I'm trying to work with other people as well. It just financially, it's like, damn, I'm spending a lot on this, more than I probably want to, but then I try not to get discouraged because, like you guys mentioned, you don't want to put an expiration date on a song. Yeah. And so that's where I've kind of ran into. So as a producer, kind of to go back to the first thing I said, is just trying to get with more established, more serious mindseted artists, creators. Sure.
Do you create content as a producer, or are you kind of just trying to make connections with people and go that route?
So creating the content as a producer is probably the weakest trait that I've been doing. So as far as like putting a beat out on Instagram, TikTok, whatever every day, that's what I haven't been doing. So that's what I've learned from now, is just to, because to me sometimes I'm like, I don't want to seem corny or like I'm trying too hard. Like that's to me when I have to break out of that shell. Sometimes it's just doing it, but so that's something that I am going to start turning around to just put it out there, see what may happen.
I got some tips for you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sure. Cool.
I got one album out I put out in 2019, and then I kind of fell off for like a year and a half, just kind of living life, trying to build more experience, have writing content. And then beginning of last year, 2021, I really just, I don't know, just happened, just started writing like crazy. I dropped 8 singles last year, and then I'm working on an album right now that I'm gonna try to put out middle of this year. I just shot my first music video when I was home for Christmas. And just trying to network, coming out to here, trying to do more events like this, trying to link up with new producers, new artists, and that's really just where I'm at with it right now. I'm trying to put more together.
Yeah.
For me, I've been doing this 6 years now. I'm at a point now in my career where I'm now managed. I have a team behind me. We're working on my EP as we speak, but I'm always consistent putting out content. I have a podcast now. I'm TikTok. Like I'm trying to do every day. I make content, but music is more just like we're working on things because we are in the phase of putting out my first EP. So when we drop singles, I dropped an EP on SoundCloud back in the day. That SoundCloud shit, I'm taking it serious now. So we're working on my EP right now. So the music is not as consistent being put out, but it's being made. But content is always being made on my end, whatever it is.
So, just quick question: is the music not as consistent because you feel like maybe you don't love that as much as like the created content piece?
No, I love making my music, but just with the team I have, we're being very strategic because I have a really dope team behind me now. But it's never. But I hear what you're saying because I have kind of fallen out of love and back in love with it. Right. So it's a little bit of yes and no, to be honest.
All right. Sweet. So I have like 2 EPs on streaming services, and then I have some singles I've dropped.
That, but it's kind of a tricky game. I just recently started putting my remixes on Spotify, but I call them covers. And there's artists that I know that have songs that have 200 million streams on Spotify, and it's their biggest songs and their remixes. And they rip beats off YouTube and use them, and then got permission from the producer later. So I'm not the best publishing person, but I will say that I've definitely put remixes on Spotify and they work. I've put remixes on my YouTube and been able to monetize them. Not every time. Sometimes I get dinged, sometimes I don't.
I mean, it's like you said, it's kind of a gamble, but I think the biggest part about remixes that you're taking advantage of is like the promotional aspect of it, right? Like kind of like exactly. You want to get as many eyes on that piece of content as possible, and then using that to leverage your own like original music. I know that if you flip it into a cover, right, and you're not just rapping or singing over instrumental that's already out there. And there are certain
Instagram and all that, it's you put out the content and see what happens.
Yeah.
You know. But I haven't got dinged on any remixes that I've done in a long time, to be honest.
Probably 2012, and they still had no down.
Yeah, yeah.
They like went viral before viral was even a word.
Yeah.
Like 30,000.
Yeah.
Still nobody found it.
Yeah, exactly.
One last one.
Yeah.
What have you had success in like targeting a specific demographic, like for marketing on social media, for example? Is there certain tools that you use, hashtags, like what's the best way?
I'm not gonna lie, because I do so much other business stuff, I haven't really been marketing my music that way in a while. But the thing that always worked for me is to go niche, to go very niche. And so like, I'll just give you, if you're familiar with my music, right? It's, okay, cool, I have a song, and who does it sound like? Cool, it sounds like, let's just say a Tech 9 song. So I'm gonna market it to Tech 9 fans, I'm gonna market it to everybody that's signed to Strange Music, I'm gonna market it to everybody who was on Funk Volume, I'm gonna market to Chris Webby, all these different people, right, that are in that niche. And I'm also going to pick the demographic, the age group to be very small. And then even sometimes I would do it, I found, if you market in a small area, even sometimes I found, when I first was coming up, I would market to people that were 16 to 24 that lived in Arizona, in Tempe, Chandler, Gilbert, Mesa, whatever. Because if you got everybody to interact with it in one area, it would then organically spread way further. So that was always a route that I took when I was marketing my music. It was like this broad thing of like these artists, but then it would get narrowed down to like my demographic, because my goal was to perform at shows out here, to build a fan base at home so that I could make the most money because it's where I live, right? So I could do shows, I could sell merch, I could be in person, and I could be popping here. So that was kind of like the initial approach I took, was marketing to all those demographics, 16 to 24, right in Arizona, within a 100-mile radius of the crib.
Sure. Now, is there a producer difference to that, or is it kind of the same thing?
It depends. I think from a marketing aspect, it's a little different for a producer, with a lot of the same principles, if that makes sense. So like, I don't know, like I just started putting out content that resonated with me, things that I wanted to talk about, and it just so happened that other artists and songwriters and other producers like just started following me because of that. So mine wasn't as intentional. Mine, I just kind of stumbled on it, and I realized, oh shit, like this is picking up traction. Let me keep doing this and turn it into a thing. So
the content is definitely, like you said, that's your least strong category. Like you just need to follow a bunch of producer pages and see what content works for producers. Obviously this dude is a great example of it. And just figuring out what things you can do and not feel corny doing them, and what things work for you, get better and better at them, and then be consistent at them. I mean, even with me making indie amplify videos, this dude was filming me doing them, and I was terrible. Like the first few videos, I'm getting frustrated. I damn near wanted to quit. I was like, he was holding up big cards. I was reading off the cards, and I was like, what are we doing? And he was like, just be natural. Like talk about your experience, do it. And so anything new that you're gonna do, it's like you're gonna feel goofy as hell making content. Like when I went out and did the nerd rap, I felt
maybe we should go someplace. Ooh, yeah, I just wanna share your space, girl. Oh, let me show you I care. Yeah, something to drive out to, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
and you have to be okay with that. It's just part of the game. Who wants to play their music first? You had a VIP, right? Oh. Well, we're starting with the VIP.
I'll go first.
Whoever has the VIP. Yes. Let's go.
All right. You said snippets, right?
Yeah, preferably.
Preferably. Can I sit on the speaker or?
Oh shit. I'm gonna go over here. I'm actually hit the bathroom super quick. Actually, no, I'm gonna hit this.
You mind just holding it? Thanks, bro.
Hold it in.
me see it.